Guys, yes, welcome back to another live and welcome back to another video as well. Big up everyone who is locked in, smash the like and subscribe button. The transfer window has officially opened. It opened last night and it hasn't even taken Chelsea 12 hours to make their mark. We have already issued a £65 million or €65 million bid for Achraf Hakimi. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And we have matched PSG's offer right from the bat. We have sat there and said, cool, we're going to go straight for him as well because let's be real, and we are going to discuss this as well. I know there's a lot of people question. Oh, yeah, fucking hell, I forgot to send Jesters a link. But there's a lot of people questioning whether this is the right move for us to make in light of the Haaland transfer and the moves for us potentially to be going and getting a DM or a centre-back. But we also need to talk about the quality that Hakimi possesses in itself and how versatile we can be if we have him in the squad too. I don't think it's a bad transfer for us. Right now, at the age of 22 years, he is probably the best right wing back in the league. Hold up, there's a bit of interference from someone. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I mute myself to see if it's me, but it ain't me.
Yeah, where's that coming from?
Oh, it's
Wind Surfer. I think that might be you still. Is that? Yeah, cool. We'll sort that anyway. But yeah, Hakimi, we put a bid in for €65 million, and there's a lot of people questioning whether it's the right move for us right now with the amount of other options that we're trying to pursue so far. But really and truly, we have the money for it. We've been speaking about it over the last few streams about how we actually have the money to go for an Erling Haaland if we want to do it. We can go further than that and say we have enough to go for a Hakimi and a Haaland if we wanted to. And if we're looking for quality at right wing back, we haven't really touched on it that much over the last few months, but we don't really have someone who's completely solidified that right wing back position. We've had Callum Hudson-Odoi stuck there for a few games, mostly against low blocks, because like we said when we were playing Alonso there, you can afford to use more attacking players in that sort of system because everyone's just sitting deep and trying to hold the draw against us. Azpilicueta did well in the Real Madrid games, but is still only really good defensively in that position. And I don't know why people are bringing Livramento up when this guy hasn't even started a league game for us. It makes absolutely no sense to me. So for us to be going for Hakimi, I get it if you're saying that there's other options that we need to pursue first, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you say no to a talent like this when he is up for sale. And Inter Milan are looking to sell as well. We've already matched the 65 million. To be honest, we could put a player into the deal as well. There's rumors that Andreas Christensen's meant to be involved in the deal. There's rumors that Emerson's meant to be involved in the deal. I'm already going to say, and Fabrizio Romano's also reported as well, Christensen isn't going nowhere. So my agenda is still going to run, thank God. Emerson, if he leaves, it is what it is. Like, apparently Ashley Young's meant to be re-signing with Inter Milan, but even at his age, I wouldn't be surprised if they still went for a replacement. And Emerson's still the starting left back for Italy in international duty. Correct me if I'm wrong. So if they were to go for him, I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, Jesters, you're telling me I'm wrong. Who actually starts for them?
It's either him or Spinazzola. I can't remember who though.
Well, I don't think
Emerson
he started yet because he hasn't played much this year. And Spinazzola is a starter in Rome. Is it Roma?
Yeah.
So they always go for the informed player. He'll get games. Don't get me wrong, but that's part of the reason he probably wants to go is because he's lost his starting role because of lack of game time.
Yes, Spinazzola started in the friendly against Czech Republic.
Yeah, I correct me if I'm wrong. Emerson was still their starting left back at a certain point, which surprised me in general because of what you said. He barely starts for us, but he still starts on international duty. So if there's another left back, I'm not really surprised by that. But still, one of the best left backs in Italy. I'm not surprised they were to go for him at the time, and it would be a smart move for them to make as well. And for us, it saves us having to spend the full €80 million regardless. But thoughts on Hakimi and us potentially being in for him? Right now, if Tuchel wants him, like, I'm going to go with whatever he wants at this point. Like, I don't get why we're going to say we're cool with him going for an Erling Haaland or a Lukaku, but suddenly when it's someone from a different position, we're going to hold back on it. Regardless, it depends on what his vision is for the club. And if his vision is getting Hakimi into the team and us sticking with 5 at the back, fuck it, I'm all here for it. Like, we can talk about being more flexible and interchanging, and I still think we need a destroyer DM in order to be able to fully do that interchange, and that would also be how we get the best out of Reece James too, because I think the biggest worry about this for me is about potentially stifling Reece James's development, and I get about strengthening the side regardless, but I think if we're talking about youth players, the only two youth players that I do think we need to protect their development at all costs would be Mason Mount and would be Reece James, because of how much they've shown in this short space of time regardless. And Reece James hasn't really looked that comfortable in the right wing-back position. And at right centre-back, he's had a few brilliant performances. And defensively, when it comes to 1v1s, he is excellent in that right centre-back position. But I still think there's still areas in his game that he does need to improve on in that position too. And he's also going to find strong competition with Christensen, with Azpilicueta for that position as well. So the only worry I have with this transfer is Reece James's development, because I could still see him develop to be a strong right wing back. I think the main issue, he hasn't looked that comfortable there so far, is because of how quickly we brought him back from injury, and he's needed time to get comfortable into that new position and then role in the squad under a new manager as well. So that's the only real worry I have with this transfer. But other than that, I'm happy with Hakimi joining. Hakimi is a fucking baller, and we would be so much more dominant going forward. And also, if we potentially get Haaland, that's a link up that we've already seen at Borussia Dortmund coming back to Chelsea, and they both understand each other a lot better. But as a player, I'm all here for it.
So I guess we're good.
I was speaking to Scott earlier about the link up between Hakimi and Ziyech in the right flank. It could be wow! Like I can't wait to see the Hakimi Ziyech link up if Ziyech starts on the right hand side. That right hand side could be a bomb.
No, I think that you're mistaken. That think that if Hakimi comes in, that Ziyech will still be here. I don't think he will be. Because Hakimi not only plays right wing back, but he can play right wing. He can play right back in a pinch, although he's not as defensively sound as you'd want your right back to play. He can play left wing back. He's played that before. But I think that that would mean Ziyech would be gone, because if we do change formations, you've got to understand that there's only so many positions that you have players you can put on the pitch. So Hakimi is can play right wing. He can play a wide right wing instead of inverted right wing to stretch the field wider and still bang in crosses from a winger position. So I just don't think that link up is ever going to happen. I think that Ziyech will be gone. He wants to go, according to everything that I've read. He is not happy in London, number one. And number two, he is not happy with his playing time. He is used to being the man. If you've been the man for your whole career, you're not going to come back and say, well, I'm going to take a back seat. Nope. You still want to be the man. So I would say that would put a nail in that coffin right there, that he would be definitely going if Hakimi came in, because Hakimi, he fills three different roles for us.
I don't think it's a guarantee that he goes.
Yeah.
Because if we do
I
go
didn't
to
really
back,
think about the perspective that you could be playing at right wing as well, because that also saves us going for a creative winger too, which is another profile that we wanted to try and find. That kills two birds with one stone. Big Up Declared saying not a time to save money, it's a time for statements, literally as well. What else you seen from the comments? Big Up Stephanie saying Tuchel will switch Reece James to right wing back and Hakimi will play right wing back. Exactly. Big Up Myron as well, the donation saying shout out to the guy bottom right who said Haaland money is properly separate from the transfer budget. The Hakimi bid indicates to me that is what is happening. I wouldn't say Haaland money, but I'd probably say money for a striker in general. Because I think that's been the main profile we've been trying to get since about January. We've known that we need a striker and we need a goal scorer. So I could understand if we had a separate budget for that and the other areas in our squad.
Especially if what Fabrizio Romano said about the whole fee is to be believed.
Nobody
what I
knows
said
what
to you
the whole
before we
fee
went
is.
on went live, when I said Pies tweeted out via like a quote from the Fabrizio Romano podcast to say that the whole fee, like the whole deal, Raiola, everything, 400 million euros.
Yeah, what was I've got up here? Chelsea
Not
would
a
have to
re-
give more than
commission.
150 million euros. 150 million euros, 129 million, which is a lot better
That's
off than
banging. In
average.
terms of the fee, it's
Nearly
banging.
130.
Commissions would need to be discussed with Raiola. Between the salary fee and the commission, it would be more than 400 million euros. Haaland is open to negotiate with Chelsea. Fucking hell, how much is Raiola taking?
Bro,
That's a misnomer.
Reported like him and his dad
Raiola
wanted, like,
takes
10 mil each.
Yeah, it was like
Let me-
20 million was what I read
Wait,
for the
No,
total.
he took 20
agency.
million off the Pogba deal, so he'll take a lot more from here.
That was the
Yeah.
thing. He wanted,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
I think in the deal for him to go to Real Madrid, or when there was talk of him going somewhere. Oh, that was it. When Raiola and his dad were like going around, like, he was going to London, Madrid, all that thing, trying to shop him around. There was reports that Raiola and Alfinger Haaland both wanted 10 million each from the deal,
Insane.
but, like, agent fees.
It's
Well,
difficult,
Raiola
man.
would
That
take
kind of
his
character,
on my life.
let him into Chelsea is difficult, man. Like Haaland's a great player. He's one of the best strikers in the world. But that kind of character to come into our team, you see what he's done to United and Pogba, man. Like he treats.
Yeah,
Listen, he's got them on strings, man. The whole club. It's funny, but yeah,
We're not united though.
Yeah, of
I'd
course
say
we're
as
not,
well,
of course we're
I'd
not,
say
yeah.
that, that's down to Ollie being a dickhead, and I'd also say that's down to the fans not a large majority of the fans not appreciating Pogba.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Like, if
We
we
have a-
appreciate Haaland, and Tuchel's obviously not going to be a dickhead towards him or Raiola, you'd assume, then it should be fine.
So I don't believe 400 million for any stretch of the imagination. We have a saying in the South: you can want in one hand and shit in the other, and see which one fills up first. So you can want all you want, but his release clause is 70 million. Let's call it. What's going to be his commission off 70 million?
So if you talk about commission, yeah, when Dortmund signed Haaland, it was 20 million to Salzburg for the release clause, 50 million euros to the commission agent, and then 10 million signing on fee going to the players. His dad literally half
Bro.
income.
This is
Could you
ridiculous.
imagine making $10 million
What I'm
just
saying-
for having a
Oh
kid?
my
You had a son.
God.
So
Project
again,
Mbappe, man. Project Mbappe has to go.
Yeah,
now,
Adam,
man.
I'm going to drop the link in about half an hour. Don't worry. Man.
He will take a reduced commission on a higher transfer fee. It's not going to be the same. You understand? Because
I
his,
don't know, man.
his
It is
commission
Raiola.
at a smaller percentage of a larger transfer fee will still be a greater amount of money than a larger percentage of a release clause. So let's get that straight. He will still make more money lowering his percentage of commission. And he's already screwed up one transfer this year, one of his prime players in Donnarumma, thinking that it would be a bidding war putting him on the market.
It wasn't.
He
Yeah.
He's all
screwed
screwed up.
that up. Big
Yeah,
time.
he's still getting Donnarumma $12 million a year at PSG, and that's
Yeah,
pretty
like,
insane.
That's fine, but
It's
it's-
getting
Yeah,
Donnarumma
he's
to
free
the
though,
most
yeah.
expensive club in the world. Like,
Why are we now questioning agents' fees? We've done it. for the
That's
past
true.
17
We pay
years.
the highest agents fees in the
Why are
league.
we now questioning? Why
Do we
is it
actually?
now-
Do we?
Yeah,
I
we
didn't know
do.
that.
I
Yeah, we
thought
do.
that's
Yeah, we
what
didn't know
we
that.
pay.
Okay, you know
We
what?
do. We do.
Even if we
Here's
didn't,
the
even
thing.
if we didn't pay
Maybe
the highest,
money
why are we
isn't that much of
questioning
a problem to us anyway. And you look at the money that we spent the last 5 years, you're not surprised. 16, 17, 120 million pounds spent. 17, 18, 241 million pounds spent. You got to remember the dross that we spent that money on as well.
Also,
18,
I think the
19, 187 million a year. 40 million in the transfer ban year and 225 million last season. So I wouldn't be surprised if we overspent again this year because it's just what we're used to. Scott, before you go, let's read a few of the donations. Sage says we need agent Hakim Ziyech to contribute to his transfer. The way things are sounding, if he does, that'll be his final contribution for us. CFC Felix saying Hakimi is a must. He is a legit world-class right back. He genuinely is the best right back in the world right now at the age of 22.
not right back.
And backing, no, sorry, right back, right wing back. Sorry, man. Dinershan saying James at right centre back and Hakimi at right wing back will be deadly. For me, we got to see if Reece James fights his way into the squad as a right centre back because he'll have strong competition for that position. But will allow us to interchange too, and if we interchange, he's the best right back in our squad by a mile, so it's fine.
Yeah. But with that as well, like, if you think Aspie's getting on a little bit, it allows him to, as I said in a previous stream, he can like come out of the team, be a voice, like in like behind cameras, like in the locker room, whatever. And then as well, it means that we've got Christensen and Aspi as the backup centre backs. Zuma can be moved on because he quite clearly doesn't fit the system. He's nowhere near good enough for the system we're playing. Which, like Zuma, we could easily get a decent fee for. Like, he's still fairly young. Did he get into the French squad like at all?
He did. He's in the Euros.
Is he actually? Oh,
yeah.
See, so like, you could get a good fee for him. There'll be like
I
you
reckon
could
50
easily
million.
send, multiple teams for a decent fee, and then we've got 2 banging backup centre backs who can come in at any time and can do a job. And then we've got a versatile right wing back who can play right wing back, left wing back, right wing if need be. Like, just works.
Play left wing as well.
Yeah, as we've mentioned with the linking up with Haaland again, he already knows how to play with him. So he already knows exactly what type of service he's going to need to thrive.
Yeah, I think
I saw Alex mention this, Eurox mentioned this on a thing as well. I think he tweeted out, like, a small factor in this as well. We're taking a player away from a team we could be facing in the Champions League. Yeah. PSG need this more than we do. They don't have a right back at all, and we'd be taking away their prime target.
Yeah, I think going after Hakimi, I think it signals a bunch of things, to be honest with you, that we were kind of questioning going into next season. Like, I think it states for sure we're probably going to stick with 5 at the back, at least for the majority of the time. There might be games where we can alternate depending on who we're playing, but I think the large majority of the time will be 5 at the back. I think it means Reece probably sticks at right center back for the most part. I think that's probably, I mean, just judging by the end of the season, he played there majority of the games and in the final. I think that gives Andreas a chance to rotate with Thiago at the middle center back position quite a bit, especially during most of the Premier League season. Gives Thiago a chance to just play maybe important games, Champions League games, things like that, keep him healthy. And then I think, it gives a good shout that Haaland is probably that guy because of the familiarity with Hakimi at right wing back. But I think it's a strong statement that Chelsea are looking to do some business this summer. I mean, the window just opened. He's definitely probably the best right wing back in world football right now, especially for players who play predominantly one position. And he's versatile. So
that's the main point. That's the main point. He's very versatile. Like, listen, the people's complaints about him, when it comes to him coming instead of Aspi or Reece. But when you want to sign Rice, it's okay for you to bring him over Gilmore, Jorginho, Kovacic, all these midfield. You're not worried about those players. But when it comes to Hakimi, you're suddenly worried about our players currently. So come on, man, keep the same energy. Yeah.
Bro, here's the thing. Livramento, this guy has not played a minute for the team. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What we could do about promoting him? If he's good enough, like, he'll show on loan somewhere. So it don't really matter too much right now.
He's got a loan at
People
least.
want to bring the Mount argument into it, but people forget if it wasn't for Mount's development of Vitesse and Derby, he would not be the player he is today. So send the Livramento out on loan and let him develop where he gets game time.
Yeah,
right?
listen, and Roman does not want to be just. I'm sorry, go ahead, Lou.
Nah, it's cool. It's cool. I've got to read a few of these out. Sage sent Roman spent 400 million on paintings. He really wants Erling Haaland. Like, all the stuff I'm hearing the last few days is kind of just reinforcing in my head that why am I worrying about the money when it's clear that Roman don't give a shit? So why should I give a
Lewis,
shit? We're not going to go bust if we buy Erling Haaland, are we? So it's not going to make that much of a big deal to us.
It's one thing I dislike about Chelsea fans that they become part-time accountants. Like, it's their money.
Yeah, I've definitely been guilty of doing that many times.
It's like going, why do you care? Why do you care? You keep going. Like I said to you yesterday, everyone keeps all Chelsea fans. You're a big club. You don't want to spend like a big club. That's what I don't get. You want to keep in your means, like you want to be, say you're a big club, but you want to be tight at the same time. It doesn't matter.
FFP's lax as well this year.
Exactly.
That's the thing, I think.
Might as well.
Also, it's not, like I said. Sorry, Scott. Like I said, it's not your money. It's Roman's money. Yeah, he's going to pump in, and you know what? Even if Erling Haaland's only here for 3 years, if he bangs and scores multiple goals, he's gonna break the world record again for a transfer fee. Because he's going to be even more than when we sell him, and we move on to the next one. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. I think
I'm so used to the idea of having an actual transfer budget, and like you can't go over that. But then with what we've said about how
Career mode stuck in our heads.
Yeah, like it's like
Yeah.
with how like someone said how they don't think the Haaland deals are part of the transfer budget. It's something Roman wants to do, and like with what this guy said here, it's like, and the fact there's no FFP, I'm like, yeah, why the fuck am I worrying?
Literally, it's
Why am I
like,
worrying?
fuck it, man. We're rich. Who gives a shit, man? We're rich.
The only
Fuck
thing
you if you're not.
the only thing I worry about, I don't care if we spend 200 million on Haaland, don't bother me. But when it comes to a wage thing, it can ruin the team a little bit because I've seen that at United. And that's the only part I do worry about is the wages. That's the only thing I worry about. I don't care how much we spend on the player. It's just the wages.
So do I, but then I think that when N'Golo Kante's like overall weekly wage is about 290 a week, we can afford to go up to about 350 and
No,
be fine.
he
And
deserves it.
he'll probably get a raise.
He actually deserves it though. He's
I
worked
think
his way
Werner's
up.
on
No,
track.
he deserves it. But with the way we're saying how Haaland's going to be spearheading our attack, and he's the final piece in the puzzle, he will have to deserve it as well. Well, I mean, if
I think 250 start is a fair for him.
Where are you getting the 290 million or 290,000?
I'm not sure because I look at the basic wage fee, and it's meant to say Ben Chilwell's our highest earner, but I think it's involving bonuses as well. Because everyone says that Kante and Havertz are still our highest earners, regardless of
Havertz is on 190.
No, Havertz is higher than that. He's higher than that.
higher than what? 109.
He's on, I think he's higher than 190.
Yeah,
I think he's in the
that
200.
would make sense.
I think that's just your base wages. That there was a graph that shows base
Without
wages.
bonuses.
Chilwell's your highest.
But I'm not being funny though. If I'm looking at the players, I'm like thinking, why the fuck can any of you complain about not getting that much? Like, bar Mason Mount, Havertz, and probably Kante, none of you can complain because you're not on that level.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
and
we
none of
put
them are
Mason
playing
Mount on that
consistently
level,
enough to
indeed.
be at that
Exactly.
level.
Like if
And to be honest,
if I'm a Hudson-Odoi, why the fuck can I complain that I'm not on that wage?
Except,
if I'm a,
of
Hudson
course.
Doy's on a good wage. Hudson Doy's on a
yeah, but if I'm like
Hudson Doy's actually on a good wage
I can't
for how
complain
much
that
he
I'm not on that
plays.
wage. If I'm any of these players, bar the three I mentioned, I cannot complain I'm not on that wage because I haven't done it consistently. I haven't done it on the biggest stage in terms of we won the Champions League, but it was certain people turning up. Like I can't, you can't, and you've seen what Haaland is, what he can do, and what he could be. You cannot argue that as a player, I deserve to be on that wage as well. You just can't.
And to be honest, I like to think that as a club and as the board doesn't like to get bullied by players asking for higher wages. We saw Tammy. I believe Tammy was asking for higher wages, and look at what's happened to him.
I think 150, something like that.
Yeah. So
I heard
there you go.
180. CFC Felix saying every single player Roman specifically wanted, he's gotten. Shevchenko, Havertz, I'll add Torres as well as another example. And like you said, no FFP to worry about either. Declared also says, I can see us spending 250 million and getting about 100 million in sales. It doesn't look like a lot when you see those numbers. Here's the thing though, 100 million in sales, this is the thing where I'm not so sure about because we have the players to sell, but we've had the players to sell for years now, and we still haven't been able to get them off the books. We're still looking at loaning Bakayoko for another season. So for me, it's about getting those players back. I'd be really surprised if we did recoup everything this summer, unless we've dropped our valuation fees. Go on, Scott.
It's not even that. Like, have any of you guys played Football Manager? Like, you know that thing where like you see the value of what they're worth and you want to just offer all the time, offer them out for that value, and you're not willing to take anything less. That's what it is with this club. It's like you could easily get good, like decent fees for some of these players, but you won't go lower than, I don't know, like 30, 35 mil for some of them. It's like, no, just take a lower fee and get them out the fucking club. Goodbye. We don't need you. Leave. Like that's the thing.
Half these guys are on 100k a week. Like we do better getting rid of them for a lower valuation.
Yeah, exactly. Like just get them out the door, but it's like we seem to want to be doing like a Morata deal every single time where we get exactly what we paid. It's like, nah, just that's not happening.
People have to understand, as a club, we recoup our money. We have a loan army. This loan army is so effective when it comes to listen. Like Bakayoko, it's a great example. You think we haven't made his money back and more because of the wages, because of the loan fees as well. Even Barkley, I believe he was loaned out for 5 million. Like. Look at
it was like 10 or 11.
Yeah, well, there you go. So we're not worried. Don't worry about this stuff, man. As I said, don't worry about it.
That's how we're able to roll. It's like, don't worry about it because Bakayoko will probably have a small transfer fee, but that will still be more. We'll still get more from the loans and the transfer fee than what we actually pay for him overall. So it's just ridiculous. So
he's supposedly going to get a shot at making the team again this summer.
God.
No, I think Tuchel
No.
will assess them. I think Tuchel will assess everyone. He'll assess everyone,
Yep.
and then he'll send them on he'll decide who he wants to keep and who he wants to get rid of. He'll give them a fair shot, but I think.
Who are you talking about?
Bakayoko.
Oh Lord, have mercy. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
No, but like Loftus-Cheek as well. Barkley.
And
the rest.
there's news out he may be off to Lazio too to join with Sarri.
Yeah, there's a loan thing. Yeah, there might be an option to buy if we loan him.
Yeah.
For Ruben or for Bakayoko?
Yeah, for Ruben.
Loftus-Cheek.
Drinkwater's not loaned, is he?
He is on loan in a minute, but he will come back.
He'll probably walk, right?
Yeah,
I think he's in the last.
He was at Turkey.
AC Milan. I think AC Milan want to buy him for 20 million.
No, I think Lazio, because Sarri's just gone to Lazio. So.
Yeah.
Drinkwater's living his best life, man. Don't worry about him. Man.
Everyone's saying Loftus-Cheek's on his way to
Thanks to
Lazio.
Chelsea.
Loftus-Cheek might get sold to Lazio because Sarri couldn't go there.
It'll probably be a loan with option to buy. That's what it'll be.
Yeah, I don't want an outright buy because I'm still saying if Loftus-Cheek has a good year, we could either bring him back or sell him for better wages. I mean, better prices, and regardless, it'll work out in our favour.
Yeah.
Bratworth saying, Scott, don't act like you wouldn't want higher wages. What's that referencing?
It was what I said about not wanting, like, these players can't demand wage. I didn't say they don't want higher wages. I'm saying they can't demand 250 grand's worth of wages.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, it's okay if, like, a Werner wants 100, like, an extra 20, 30 grand in his wages, cool. He can't, like, ask for double that because he doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, Callum's on like 120 a week and he barely plays. So it's like, you can't
You can't prove it.
I'm just saying you can ask for higher wages, slightly higher wages. Like, you can't ask for what Haaland's going to be on. You just can't, unless you're like Mount.
And if we're renegotiating with Angola, which I think they're going to try to do, he'll get a raise. He'll be on more a week anyway. So
Mount and Kante and maybe Kai, as I said, are the only three that can like maybe ask to be on that sort of wage. Literally the only three.
More news has just come out. Chelsea have been charged £3.6 million for trying to join the Super League.
Have you seen what the
risk? What?
£3.6 million.
£3.6 million.
It's a slap on the
wrist.
What is that to
Who cares?
Yeah, it said all
the potential.
Say that again, Scott.
Have you seen what the potential sanctions are, though, if we agree, if this happens again and we agree to join the Super League a second time?
30-point deduction.
Yes, £20 million pound fine, a 30-point deduction if we agree to join anything like this again.
Yeah, we won't do it
If we do it again, it'll happen.
We won't, but I still kind of wish we held on a bit longer to try and get some actual reform from UEFA. Like, I wouldn't have minded another week or two because we might have seen some changes. But whatever, we played our card, it didn't work, and nothing's changed. It is what it is. But 3.6 million, nobody cares.
You do understand that parts of what they were proposing in the Super League is actually happening now with the relaxation of FFP to keep these smaller clubs alive. They've relaxed that so the bigger clubs can buy the smaller clubs' best players to inject cash into those clubs, which was one of the main points that they put out for the Super League was the other clubs will be selling clubs, and that's how they'll boost their revenues. Well, that's what we're doing right now anyway with FFP being relaxed, is the bigger clubs with the money are buying up all the good players, but in turn that keeps these smaller clubs alive for another year or two to get, to get back on track. So, yeah.
FFP's at its weakest it's ever been, so that's why there's you know what I mean. So, and they're going to bring in some new form or something like that. But you know what? Just take advantage of it. That's why we're linked to Haaland this summer like this. Because
let's ruin the league again, man. Let's ruin it again.
Let's ruin it.
Let's do it, man.
Let's
do it.
About time, and let's actually stay around after winning it. And
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Sustain success.
This is the thing I like the most. We've won a big trophy, and we've actually looked to build on it. You know how many times we win the league and we just do fuck all and buy Morata or buy fucking nobody?
Lewis, the only time we've strengthened after a title win was the first one. When we got Essien in, but we got Crespo back. I know he didn't play very well, but we got Sean Wright-Phillips as well. Is that the time he was a forward?
We retained the title, yeah.
And we
So
retained the
listen,
title.
I'll tell you what, that transfer window in Conte's second season, that is the worst ever transfer window from any club. No one can convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
No,
I don't
it was
know.
terrible.
It wasn't Conte's fault.
15,
It wasn't
16,
Conte's fault.
15, 16. I mean,
I'm not saying it was
No,
Conte's
no,
fault.
no.
Michael-
15,
Michael
16 was
Hector.
horrendous. But
Yeah.
at the very least, the problem with 15, 16 was that we didn't spend anything. We spent 250 million on that shite in 17, 18. And only Giroud was good.
yes.
The fucking Emerson, Barkley, Zappa, Costa, and Drinkwater as our deadline day signings. Bakayoko, Morata. Fucking 6 players who were just shocking.
But yeah,
And
this
wonder
is
why we
the
got 5
this is-
players.
Costa.
but yeah, this is the Antonio Conte that Spurs fans want. But let's move on.
That
Again,
wasn't
no
on
correlation
Conte.
with talking about Spurs.
No. I know, but that was us buying Conte's 3rd, 4th, 5th choice targets. That is what Spurs will do.
He's
Then
not
that
going
would be
there
on
anyway.
Spurs, just
Who
like
cares
it's on
about
us.
Spurs, man? Forget Spurs, man.
Innocent saying Marino will get rid of the Deadwood. Moses 6 million. I mean, I'd say that, but we would have got rid of Deadwood now if we lowered our valuation fees on them
To be
years
fair,
ago.
getting rid of Moses is good. Like the fact we've got rid of him is decent.
Myron, I'll send you a link as well. Bertram saying Livra has 1 year in his deal. It's Lamptey all over again.
So,
Bro, I'm going to be
No,
real
we-
with you. For the last
we
year,
have
I've
no
forgotten
idea how
about
good he
Lamptey.
is. We have no idea. how good he
Lamptey's been injured. So why are you even bringing Lamptey up?
This
He-
is like
he wasn't-
No, he's saying that Livra, like, because Lamptey had a good time when he left when he went to Brighton. So he's saying that if Livramento left, he could have a similar like breakout thing. But like, we have no idea how good Livramento is. I don't want people saying he was good in the youth league because it means fuck all.
And
Like,
Lamptey
youth
is
football and men's
5'7",
football is
dude.
completely different.
It doesn't matter how good he
Plus-
is. We've got one of the best right wing backs in the world. Like, it doesn't
Like,
matter how good he is.
exactly.
It's an upgrade.
Like, go and
Plus-
speak to United fans, and Teeth Chong was doing bits in the youth league, and he was dog shit when he came to Prem. Like, it
Like,
means
for-
fuck all.
Like Lamptey might be balling up Brighton, and I know he's good, but you can't equate and translate that form into Chelsea Football Club playing in the Champions League, for example.
I think this is just a thing that like Chelsea fans have gotten used to the last few years, unfortunately, where it's like, listen, we all like the academy kids. It's nice if one of them can come through and makes a splash, but you don't want to be that club that is just bringing through academy kids. If you want to be a big club, you want to win big trophies, you have to get the best players that are available at each position. And
Josh,
it's nice,
Josh.
but
let's face it. Can I be honest, right? Chelsea fans have only cared about the academy since Frank Lampard took over. Yeah? They've only cared about it since then. You know what? Before Mason Mount showed up, John Terry was the only academy product to really come through. They didn't care about it then. They would go, before the transfer ban, it was like, okay, so who are we going after this summer? They didn't care about it then.
Andrew, I still don't
And they
care
care
about
about it so much. They care about it so much. The academy products get the most hate, which I don't get.
There's genuinely
I don't think Roman
genuinely like
Go ahead, Scott.
brings
Go ahead.
through you. I'd say there's probably two actually. There's 2 big clubs in the world that bring through youth consistently at the minute. One's Ajax and one's Barca, and that's because they're broke.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
Real
it's
Madrid
like,
don't do it on
And
a
it's
consistent
impossible
basis.
to replicate what they're doing, Scott. It's
Yeah, but
impossible
like
to replicate
Real
it.
Madrid
Exactly.
only do it when it's an amazing player or like when they have to, and they don't do it consistently. United only did it because they absolutely have to, and even most of their youth players they don't rate. So
Yeah,
like,
hold on.
no
Hold
big
on.
club does it
Yeah,
consistently.
You also need to point out, right? Who is the highest goal scorer?
In the
what,
academy.
Chelsea?
What?
You have to be more specific.
No.
What do you
The
mean?
highest goal scorer, the highest English goal scorer, right? And from the academy, right? It's not Alan Shearer. It's not Harry Kane. It's Eddie Nketiah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a youth.
But that's because Eddie's been playing in the youth academy for like
6 years.
basically
No,
his whole
exactly.
career.
I'm saying it really doesn't mean shit.
No, exactly. It doesn't mean
It
you're
really
absolutely
doesn't mean
right.
anything.
You're absolutely right.
Like,
It doesn't
Can I
mean-
also say, you know, when it comes to buying 60 million players, when you already have players in that position, no one complains about City doing that. City do it all the time, and it's a great strategy because you're
That's what having
replacing.
a good squad is for.
Exactly,
Like if you look
exactly.
at City's squad,
right
the whole
there.
point is if it's going wrong, they can bring on another player that's like insane.
Exactly.
And change
Look
the
at
game
Walker and
up. It's like,
Cancelo.
bro, it's
Exactly.
like,
Pushes them.
look at United, for example, in that final against Villarreal. Look at their bench. Bar a couple of players, it was shit because their squad is not good.
Exactly.
Scott,
People
you said-
say
Scott, you said
people
it right
say
there,
we have
Scott.
players in that position.
Squad.
If we
Squad.
Exactly, squad game. People say we have players in that position. Well, if like for example, bring in Hakimi. If Reece James is really this good, Hakimi won't bother him, and he'll only improve and get better and push. Maybe he'll push Hakimi on the bench, or we'll end up selling him later on.
Guys,
And that's only a good thing for us.
But Reece James is only 2021. We don't want him burning out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, Azpilicueta is getting on. It's all about rotation. I don't understand this. It's like, we don't want a set first 11. We don't want that. Do you know what I mean? We don't want a manager to guess our first 11 because it'll be easy for them to coach against. We want them always guessing. A squad is... Why have we've not had these issues in the past when Mourinho was here the first time or Ancelotti? It was squad game. I don't understand why now. It's only because we've got the academy in. Now it's a problem that we're buying players.
No, do you know what it is, Andrew? It's because look at for example with Pep. All you fantasy football guys can't guess his first 11, so it always messes up your SPL, or your FPL each week. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, and like when it comes to the academy, like I think always for Roman, it was just an additional resource for money. It's like you develop a good player, he's young, you sell him on, you make a little money. Or hey, maybe one breaks through, but if not, it's always there to generate additional income each year, a little bit, a couple million here, a couple million there. It's never been like, oh, I want to build a team full of academy kids. Like that's going to be the next best thing is to have 11 kids straight from the academy in my starting 11. Like, nobody does that.
You're only supposed to have maybe one. As it goes, United 92 is a freak. Yeah, realistically, you're only supposed to have really probably one or two players come through every 5 to 10 years that are that good in the academy. Do you know what I mean? You can say what you want about Barcelona, but after Pedro and Busquets came through, I can't really remember anyone else stepping up for the years after that.
Andrew, people fail the context for what was it, United's class of 92. People fail to remember the context within that is they had experienced leaders in that team, winners, and they learned from them. We need players. Forget the fact we just won the Champions League. We don't know if these players can do it consistently over a season. They need players to learn from. Hakimi is the best or one of the best wing backs in the world. I don't care about Livramento or Reece James.
Prime, the thing is, the only valid criticism I've heard, is people worrying about us sticking to this formation, and I guess that's fair. But honestly, like if you bring up Livramento in an argument to tell me that Hakimi is not the right player, then I'm not going to listen. But some of the criticism I've heard is quite valid. Like they're saying we should prioritize other signings. Yes, that's also fair. But to answer your question. The five at the back, people have talked about five at the back. We've struggled to break teams down, but Hakimi he's a gifted right wing back. He's not normal. Like I'm telling you, this guy, the numbers he puts up, the amount of running he does, the unrest he creates for on his side. Because listen, he's always up and down, man, and he creates so much space.
Yeah, just the stat I've seen since the start of the 920 season, he's had more touches in the opposition box than any other fullback in Europe's top 5 leagues. And the main thing we're buying him for is his attacking quality. He's good on both feet. He's rapid. His ball progression is amazing. He can create from the center of the pitch. He can create from the wide flanks as well. He's a direct threat at goal, which means he can cut inside and use his left foot as well. And he's able to find a play with his right foot too. Multi-talented on that right.
Lewis, in the box, he's got the movement of a striker. I promise you, like I've seen him, the movement of a striker,
and his striking of the football as well. Yeah. Like he's got a good shot on him. He's striking
with either foot. Yeah, either foot too.
And this nonsense about prioritizing deals is crazy because listen, if you think that we're only doing one deal at a time, once this deal,
we're not united.
This is a professional football club with probably the best. Marina might be the best operational head in football right now. She's working 2-3 deals at once. There's multiple things going on. People work for her. Like nobody's just doing, okay, we're going to deal with Hakimi, and then in another 6 weeks when the deal's done, we'll move on to Haaland.
This was my concern.
So we can only buy one. So like if Haaland is the big target we want this summer, so because we haven't finished a Haaland deal yet, we can't buy anyone else. That's stupid.
No
club runs that way.
But I think the concern was
Sorry, is that Minarora? No, sorry, I'm just busy doing the Hakimi deal first. Can you make 45 minutes?
Yeah. Come on, man.
I think look at what Barca are doing at the minute, or before Wijnaldum turned them down. They were trying to sort out 4 deals at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you thinking we can't do 2 or 3 deals at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, Raiola had a meeting with PSG the other day about 4 different deals of his clients. They were talking about Xavi Simons, Donnarumma,
and somewhere else. Yeah,
about it not being our money. I don't think anyone.
These fans saying we can't get 2-3 deals done at the same time are the same fans who are probably talking to 2-3 girls at the same time. But that's not my business.
So here's a little bit news that affects actually 2 transfers this summer in Sancho and Haaland. They both have to be done by July 23rd, or they're not going to be done.
It's good thing we started early June then, isn't it? For Haaland.
How come that's the case?
Because that's when they go to training camp and they want their players sorted by then.
That makes sense.
July 23rd is the deadline for Sancho and for Haaland to leave. So,
and Haaland's not at the Euros. And Haaland is not at the Euros.
Haaland's not at the Euros.
Yeah,
Can I just say, imagine us signing Haaland means that they won't need the Sancho money from United anymore. Oof, that would be beautiful, man. If he just ends up staying.
Please, don't.
Hey, can I just come back quickly on the Hakimi point? So yesterday I was saying that I didn't really think that we needed Hakimi, or especially not for 60 million, but that was under the assumption that that's an opportunity cost, meaning that's 60 to another transfer. But like I said today, if that striker money is separate, if we're not considering that, if that's the kitty we've got over here, and then over here we've got our wingback kitty, I'm ecstatic about getting Hakimi over Adama Traore. I would be 1 million times more happy with that. Shit, if we're just spending money like it's silly season, let's go for everybody. Let's get Rice too. But let's not hold back now. But I think it was just the concern was there's an opportunity cost with going with Hakimi, and that means that we're compromising in other areas. And clearly that's not the case now. So I'm all for it.
No, I said it yesterday. I went, I don't believe that Haaland's deal is linked to our budget for the rest of the deals. And also, I don't know if anyone heard it, man. Rice, I know it's a lot of money, but they will still try and make a deal. Try and get the best deal they can for Rice. They might walk away because I don't know if anyone heard yesterday the report of Dean Jones on the terrace saying that he heard to possibly look out for a deal that PSG are doing something with Verratti, and if Verratti could work out a cheaper in price option, but Verratti's a baller.
No.
Don't compare Rice to Rice.
There's no complaints with Verratti, right? But his health has been a big question over the past couple of years. He has gone missing when they have absolutely needed him. Like not missing on the pitch, like injured. He's gotten injured. Like during the Champions League runs that they've been trying to make, he would get injured. And
how old is he?
And this is in the first.
Yeah, can you imagine we get?
No, he's old. Verratti's old.
Wait,
he's not old. He's late 20s.
We get
20. Upper 20.
2 players.
He's starting.
28. Yeah.
Can you imagine we get 2 players from Raiola clients though? Verratti's Raiola clients.
I mean, if that happens, you may as well get all of them. Get Pogba in all your ass.
Let's go.
Can I just say again? One of the criticisms I've heard today. Yeah, one of the things I've heard today I saw a tweet saying, "Oh, I'm worried about the Rice money being taken away from this." Like, come on, stop being silly, man, please. Yeah. So, like the level of signing that Hakimi is, it's like number one, it's not going to do that anyways. We've got enough money.
I'm still talking about.
Yeah, I genuinely don't.
Honestly,
I think
it's an obsession.
But this is
People acting as if, so I'm going to have to take 5 mil from this to put into that.
People not understand. We have one big budget that every player we buy is like we spend from that budget. It's not like you have different budgets for different players. It's one big budget. Like it's like you spend it from that budget, so it will be all fine. But
So also, I rate Rice, but sorry, we take the Rice money away to buy a baller. Ooh, sorry.
Just go
Yeah.
to Lenny, who's like half the price, and there we go. It's sorted.
The position Rice plays, I think, is one of those positions where you could actually save a little money and get a Tukumeni, who is an absolute baller as well.
Thank you.
And
half the price.
He's at least half the, probably for sure half the price. And
Shut up, Bakayoko.
Hey, put respect on Bakayoko's name.
I mean, I love Tukumeni as a player. Like, if you watch him play, he's a fantastic player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So
that would
you
be,
could actually
that'd be
get
fantasy football. That'd be fantasy.
You could actually get
Haaland,
two
Hakimi,
center
Verratti.
mids.
Fantasy football.
You could get two center mids
Yes,
for
you
the price
can.
of Rice.
Yeah,
because you could get Weigl that
sound
Tuchel rates very, 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 very highly, and Chouameni. So that's two center midfielders for the price of one. And if we're going to play a back five, you don't need to have that holding mid because you have three center backs.
Yeah.
A holding mid at that point is just redundant because you have the center back that's actually playing that role.
Yeah.
So
I think you still need a 6 in that system, even if it's just one.
I will say this.
No. I hear what he's saying because with what we have, like literally, if you're like what happened last year, you can just see like that Jorginho, especially if he doesn't leave this summer, he's going to start most of the games again. So you're going to have him still being next to whoever they want to put. Probably going to end up being.
The point is though, is getting another body or two bodies in there to rotate Jorginho.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's to rotate him and Kante. So
I have a question when it comes to Rice. Do you think it would cost more than Verratti? Let's just say we had a chance to sign Verratti.
Yes. Very easily.
Because we'll have to pay. We'll have to pay the West Ham tax, and you'll have to pay the familiarity tax.
Hear me out. I fully believe that the club has like they have like a sense of security right now where they know that Rice wants to come to Chelsea. So I think they're content. I think they're fine with waiting a couple years before making it happen. Like I don't think they really have any problem because let's be honest. Like if Man United go in for him, right? Obviously not this year. They already tried.
I don't want Declan Rice.
They got scared off. They already got scared off. They tried. They put in 80. They put in a 60.
Or Zakaria, or Kamara, or just somebody cheaper. For goodness sake, 80 million for Rice. Are you out of your mind?
Yeah, but if they ever,
I know it's not our money, and I said that half an hour ago. But fucking hell, 80 million for Rice. Are you out of your mind?
It's fully to scare
people. It won't be 80 mil. It won't be 80 mil.
It's to scare you
off. It
off.
won't be 80 mil. They're literally euros.
Yeah. The same way Havertz is 100 mil.
You can't bully Premier League teams, Prime. You can't bully Premier League teams. It's not the same way.
We might not be able to bully them, but there are
especially
positions West Ham need that we can fill for them. They need a striker. We could give them Tammy. That can cut it down to like 50 or 60 mil.
Yeah, aren't we trying to find a way to use Tammy for the Haaland deal?
No. I don't know why Dortmund want Tammy.
Can I be honest with you, guys? Any reports of trade deals are not true. I'm telling you, it's very unrealistic. It barely ever happens, and if it happens, it's something very like we saw. The biggest trade deal we've seen is probably Sanchez and Mkhitaryan, and that happens once. It doesn't happen a lot.
Our turn.
I agree with you in the fact of not a direct swap deal. However, for example, Liverpool bought Konate and Leipzig ended up getting Kabak. Not a direct trade deal, but something secret like that of sorts does happen.
No. I don't know how it works. Back to.
He did go back. Yeah,
I know, but something weird and fishy like that does work in football.
I'll explain it to you again because this happened last year with Pjanic and Arthur.
That didn't happen. That was
It was a sale.
I'm going to explain why they call it a trade deal. So, Juventus buy Arthur for a price. Okay. Barcelona, they can then put that full amount of money on their books, whatever it is. Let's call it 70 million pounds or 70 million euro. Then they go and buy Pjanic from Juve for, let's call it 50 million euro because he was less than Arthur. both teams put the full amount of transfer fee on their books, but the payment that they pay for those players are annuitized. So you only pay a certain amount over the initial fee every year. That's how a trade works in European football.
They've done something similar to that before, where they sold Neto to Valencia to get past FFP, and then the day after FFP bought Sillison. Or no, other way around. They sold Sillison to Valencia to get round FFP, then the day after FFP bought Neto from Valencia for literally the same fee. So yeah, they have done that before.
And if you think about those trade deals, like both teams are getting like same caliber of players. Like I'm sorry, but Tammy and Haaland.
I can't be asked to this shit. Fucking hell, man.
Did you say both teams are getting the same caliber?
No, that's not what I said.
Okay.
Oh, so I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you.
No, I was gonna say like in this case they're not getting the same caliber of players, so it doesn't. Yeah, so it's not the same thing.
Shit, I still think 60 for Rice is crazy. When you ask like for what he does for your team, like he's a very good defender. I'll give him that. But if you're telling me I can still get Tukamini for 35 at half the price of the 60, like for me, it's.
I don't think
I don't want to sign Rice for 60 now.
If we are going to play 5 at the back and it is like the other centre mid next to, let's say, Kante or whoever it is, isn't just a 6 but can be box spots. Tuchemeni is the perfect player for that because Fabregas has already said that he can play as a 6 and he can progress further up the pitch. You can play him in all of those positions. So he can be that guy that sits or he can be the guy that shifts slightly up. Whereas Rice is only the sitter. He can only sit.
But don't forget, he's best friends with Mount, so he's going to cost 60 million, man. He's going to cost more than that. Do you know what I mean? Obviously.
The Mount tax. The Mount tax.
What if we're switching up? What if, because we will switch away from this 5, I'm assuming.
I don't know.
Who knows?
No, I think we'll just interchange. We'll just interchange. I think if we get that Destroyer DM profile that we're missing, we can interchange a lot more between a back 4 and a back 5.
And if we get
and then that makes us a lot more flexible as well. Because I said my only worry was Reece James's development. But if we can interchange a back 5 and a back 4, Reece James is always going to start at right back. So we don't have to worry about that then. So for me, I'd be fine.
Even at wing back, I feel like Reece James and Hakimi would just alternate, kind of how we've seen Adoy played in certain games where it matches his profile. You know, sometimes we need that pace on the right hand side. We're not really super fast on the right hand side, but to break through the lines, Hakimi is the perfect player for that.
I mean, I still think he'll play right center back, even with Hakimi at right wing back.
only
because two goals
play.
Right center,
But if it's a 4, then.
Yeah. In a 4, he probably won't play a traditional center back. He'll play a right back for sure. But
we all agree that Danish Maldini sticking at Chelsea. Yeah, we all agree that.
Danish Maldini at the centre back.
He's going to Inter. He's going to Inter for.
No, don't stop this.
Sorry, Slens, what'd you say?
I said
I am not hearing this shit.
You guys seriously, other than Lewis, you guys still actually rate Christensen?
Of course I do. Of course, yes.
You mean actually rate Christensen?
Why would you not? This guy, bro. Because Prime don't rate him. That's why. Prime still has his pooey agenda from Jeff.
He doesn't rate Mendy
either. I still have question marks on a lot of these players. That's why I keep saying, do it consistently over a season.
He hates Mendy.
Yeah, but he's my player of the season, Andrew. Yeah,
you bandwagon jumper.
Overcorrecting yourself. That's all right, man.
Prime, you like Kepa, man. Stop jumping.
Yeah, but he's a Champions League winner. What's your point?
So is Christensen. So respect Christensen.
Yeah, so is Christensen. Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah, what did Christensen do in the final though?
What did he do in the final?
Oh, come on, man. Okay,
that's nonsense.
Now I see.
That's nonsense. Really? He had a block that won us the game, but come on, man. Please, that block was instrumental.
Ridiculous. He didn't put his on.
Right, and Rudiger deserves the same shoulder.
Yeah, we rate Rudiger as well.
I know the fact that it annoys you guys.
I know.
Look, I hope Christensen proves me wrong next season.
I think he already has, man.
But like,
you should have proved you wrong this season.
Like I said, consistency. Do it over the course of the season, not just.
Can I just say something very obvious? Yeah.
Course of the season.
If we're sticking to three at the back, we have to keep Christensen. We have to keep him. He's incredible in that system, especially in that middle. Like if Silva's injured,
Ballon d'Or. He's a Ballon d'Or.
As Justice said, he becomes a DM because he distributes the ball so well. It's important.
He steps in the midfield.
Two times Thiago Silva has been injured, and we said there's massive boots to fill, and the size has been perfect. He's fit those boots excellently. 15 games in a row since Silva got injured, and 15 clean sheets in the Champions League final came on and pulled the classic. Not taking anything away from Rudiger either. Rudiger's been excellent this season. Azpilicueta at centre-back, excellent this season. Silva, excellent this season. This is what I'm saying. We don't really need a centre-back like that. Unless it's a direct improvement on the centre-backs that we have now. I don't want one. We don't need one. I can all the defenders that we have right now. Maybe not Zuma, but all the defenders that we have right now.
But Lewis, sorry for me in thinking that I still want to see them over the course of the season. I still don't trust all of them completely.
But you've seen them over the course of the season.
I've seen them do well for half a season.
That's fair. It's tight.
Fair enough.
You're sounding
so
like
go down
right
here
now.
then. What do we get to the end of 2021 then?
No. Again, I want to be proven wrong about them. They play for Chelsea. They're my players. I want to be proven wrong.
If the Champions League doesn't do it, I just don't know what will, man.
It's half a season.
Man, but
I hear you. I agree. I mean, let's be honest. Like, if every single player on that team is not showing what they've shown this year, again, there's going to be questions. Same way,
especially now we just won the Champions League. There's higher expectations now on these players.
Yeah.
If we're challenging the league with a Man City team that can just get 100 points out of a bag, then we can't be dropping points willy-nilly next season.
By the way, Lewis, onto your point. Sorry. Onto your point about your centre back, the only way I'll accept a new centre back is if we're number one selling Zuma and I'm bringing someone like a top caliber centre back like Varane. That's the only way I accept another one. Otherwise, let's not stick another one in for that's just as good as our current centre backs. But Varane for me is an upgrade on the current ones, except for Thiago Silva, of course. But
every word that you said, every word.
Yeah.
The back three, if Hakimi comes in, you have Thiago and AC, who are better in the central center back position. You have Rudiger, you have Aspie, and you have James. I think that Aspie will be used at right center back and left center back on that formation because he played left back before. So he'll be able to rotate with Rudiger as well and give him time off. So I think Aspie will be used as that person who comes in to rotate or start if we're wanting to go more defensive and soak up pressure and hit on the counter. So I think a center back is not eating. Actually, if we did something like bringing Hakimi in, I think that we need to have a center back go out because there won't be enough play time for all of them. So I think that we could bring in Hakimi, have Zuma go out the door, and still not need to bring in a center back.
Have there been any rumors for Zuma? Have we seen
anything?
No,
nothing.
Yeah. Which is because this time last season, Zuma was the only one getting any offers.
Just wait until after the Euros, though, because I think things will pick up.
Yeah,
sure.
Is Zuma in the Euro squad?
Yes,
yeah, he is.
He's genuinely never going to play. I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would probably barely see him play.
But Zuma can end up with a Euros medal as opposed to Christensen, but let's not talk about that.
What was that?
Is Denmark not in the Euros?
It's nothing.
I didn't quite hear that one prime.
They are. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't work.
Okay.
I'm just, Lewis, I'm messing with you. It doesn't matter. Let's move.
No, on a level, I actually didn't hear what you said.
I said Zuma could end up with a Euro medal and Christensen could end up with nothing, but let's not talk about it.
Wait, Denmark have got away to a Euros before. Who's we can't do it again? And Danish Maldini at the back. I wouldn't surprised.
You're English. You're not Danish. Who's we?
He's Danish. He's Danish this summer.
My granddad might be Danish. Like you never know.
Does he play DM for the Denmark?
Huh?
Apparently, yes.
Oh, that's
No,
mad.
He has played DM before. Yeah.
What do you mean? Zuma slander is not justified? Yes, it is. He's
Yes, it is.
awful in a back three. He's
Not slander,
absolutely
it's just facts.
awful. in a
No,
back
not slander,
three.
not slander. Though, just criticism. Yeah,
He
criticism.
looks like an elephant on roller skates when the ball's at his feet.
Hey,
The back
allows
three
him,
doesn't
allows
score.
him, allows him.
In this system, he's dog shit. You saw him against Arsenal. He's got 2 left feet. He can't pass.
Really not his fault either, man. I mean, in the back four, he looks really solid for a while.
Yeah, but that's his.
Yeah, but that's
I guarantee that.
Just
I
like
guarantee
Terry was next to me, looked good.
if we switched to a back four under Tuchel, he'd still look shit.
Exactly. I've always said this. It's a different system. You command the ball more, which means
under Frank Lampard, it was less without. He didn't have to do as much with the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even then he had Haaland moments.
But let's not
He did
act
have
like
Haaland
just
moments.
because he can't play on the ball that he's not good. Let's not act like just because he can't play on the ball that he's not good.
I didn't say he wasn't a good defender.
It's a requirement.
I
It's a requirement.
I said he looks like an elephant on roller skates when he's got the ball at his feet.
And look at the 3 West Brom goals we conceded in the 5-2 loss. All of them were because of him.
And even under Lampard, you remember the Spurs game, bro?
Defender is shit.
The Spurs game under Lampard when he gave it out in the last couple of minutes and we almost conceded. Like that would have been. You see what I mean? Like he makes mistakes, but they don't always become goals.
Southampton game where he just went ball watching and just let Minamino get right behind him.
Bro, his positional awareness is awful.
Yeah, it's awful.
All you have to do is get on his blind side and you've scored. You're through.
I mean, he needs to be sold, but I got soft spots.
Maybe we can sell him to Roma.
This comment.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
I think everyone's being a bit too reactionary on Zoom. Everyone's being a bit too reactionary.
It's been a whole season, bro.
No, but if we look at last season, how much Christensen and Rudiger made mistakes at the end of the day. How many mistakes did they make? Remember that West Ham game?
I agree.
Plenty.
I agree with you. 2021 was a horrendous year for our defending, but that was because of the Lampard system and him constant changing our back four. We had 22 different back fours in 41 games. That's why it looks a lot different now, because you have to keep your defensive line the same. Zuma, I agree with you. Erling is great. Recovery tackles, he's great. But he has a howler in him all the time. But I already said, fucking Lo Celso had better decision making in that Tottenham-Chelsea game in the 93rd minute. We would have an even bigger question mark on him. And the exact same howler that happened in the Spurs game happened in the Arsenal when we got made to pay for it. He is capable of those.
How many of our current...
Oh, you need to take that stuff.
You know, it's going back.
Somebody
Going back at you, Lewis. I could say the
He's
same
on
thing.
what? Man.
I could say Christensen's not the best in the air, and he gets bullied in 1v1 situations when the centre back's bigger than him. It's just that we haven't seen it much this season, but they're still there. And my point is, all of our centre backs are quite limited in a sense, so we can't pick and choose who we
But
want.
can I ask you a question though?
I was just going to say that Christensen's won a good 80% of his aerial duels in most matches this season.
Yeah.
I was just going to put that one out there.
But even so, because I was going to ask you, in a Tuchel system, do you think it's more important for you to be comfortable on the ball as a centre back, or to have aerial duels like win 100% of them? I think for me, it's to be more comfortable on the ball.
100%.
Because because we start our attacks from our centre backs all the time, so we need someone to be comfortable.
Like,
I want a centre back that can be both.
You can't just shy away from the fact that every single time he was on that pitch under a Tuchel system, he messed up. Like whether it be like passes that he just couldn't get right, whether it be he just took too long on the ball that caused or that allowed the opposition to press us. Like that's the thing with him. He's a very pressable guy. So the second the ball gets to him, the entire front line just shifts, and he doesn't have the ability to.
But then I can say, how many mistakes has Jorginho made?
But we're not talking about Jorginho.
Like two. Listen, I personally think Jorginho should be the ¡1 player on our list that we should sell because I think he can command a good value and you can replace him. And you can replace him.
We started a whole other. We don't need to
Get his respect. I want to know, man.
That's just me. I simply think that
Zuma played well under Lampard,
you can get from someone else who can offer even more. That's just personally me. That's just personally.
Wait, how is our #1 player to sell Jorginho?
No, for a price that we can get for him, I think we can get a good 40 mil, 45 million for Jorginho.
We can get 40 mil for Zuma as well.
Exactly.
It's not more.
30 million pounds.
Players that we can sell, that we can bring, but we can get new players in.
It's not like Jorginho's untouchable. He's not untouchable.
That's not what we're saying. That's not what we're saying. But listen, it's bro. The thing is, people go to.
I said untouchable, but I don't see any reason why we would sell him after the season that he's had.
The only way
it's clear upgrades in the market. It's got to be real.
The only way I could see it is if Sarri really wanted him at Lazio, and they would put him in a deal for SMS. That's the only way I'd probably do it at this point. Because if you can bring in SMS...
Do you guys want Sergio Michael?
Different player, though, isn't it? Different player.
We are playing career mode.
But here's the thing: we've already said we need to destroy a DM. We're getting rid of the only thing we have close to a DM. So what's going to be next if we don't get one? Then are we just going to be stuck with box to box FC?
That's what I said. It'd be SMS at that point. If you don't know who SMS is, he can play. He can play more of a holding role in a back. When we have a back three behind him.
I know, but here's the thing: like, I don't really want people that can. I want someone who is one, because we already have Kante who can play as a lone DM, but it doesn't mean he is one. We have Jorginho who can play there. He only fits that in certain profiles of games. So for me, I just need someone who is that role, because I'm thinking that's what we miss in the squad. That's why, to me, you don't get rid of someone who's close to that role when we're already missing the finished article in itself.
Jorginho's staying.
Well, that's why I said
let's get over it.
He's signing a new contract, man. Just get with the times.
The only place Jorginho goes to is back to Napoli. I don't see him joining Sarri at Lazio because he's already said if he goes back to Italy, he wants to go back to
already, bro.
I was just making a point. That's the only way I could see it.
Yeah.
Didn't say that I want it to happen. I said it's the only way I could see it happening.
We're trying to strengthen our squad, not weaken it.
If we play a back four,
I don't know. Look, I just think of it this way. If Jorginho has a bad game, we lose. That's all I see it. And I just personally
want to know why we lose when Jorginho has a bad game, because our attack flows through Jorginho. So when he plays badly, the attack looks bad.
No, not only the attack.
West Brom, for example. Arsenal, for example.
Don't lose because of one player.
He's our metronome. The team flows through him. Of course, the team's going to play bad when he does.
You talking about that Arsenal goal?
That West Brom game, I fully put all blame onto him. Because he's the sole reason he got a red card.
No way. You can't say that. Thiago Silva's experience.
You don't blame Thiago Silva. You don't blame Thiago Silva.
No, I don't blame Silva, to be fair, because it was
I
not
blame him for his second challenge.
The second challenge is ridiculous. I don't care, man.
One at a time. No one can hear what you guys are saying. One at a time.
Some of those goals were bangers. We can't blame Jorginho for the 5-2.
No. Not the 5 goals. No. The reason we went down to 10 men. The reason we went down to 10 men.
I wouldn't even blame him for that.
Hold on. Both of those tackles that Thiago Silva had to make.
Okay, one second.
He didn't play the second one.
No. He got he got put in the position for both of them. The first one was bad Jorginho pass. The second one was a bad Reece James pass that got put him in a bad position for all of them. If we're going to the goals, I look at Kurt Zuma, I look at Alonso, I look at Kovacic,
I agree. Not the goals.
Hold on. You guys mentioned the Arsenal game, Kozilla.
Slen, 1 second. I'll give it to you. CFC Felix says people easily forget the mistakes Zuma also made in the back four. Southampton, Spurs, Manchester City, Southampton. He does have this habit of fucking slowing down when he realizes the play is too far ahead of him, which I really don't like as well. But I hear what you're saying too.
I was just going to say quickly.
One sec. Sage says, all I know is when Timo comes back, he's on 28. We'll have to see. And Rokar as well saying, Jorginho is trusted by Sarri, Lampard, and now Tuchel. He is the most important midfielder in Italy midfield under Mancini. You guys just hate him and he keeps proving you wrong. Respect it. Someone said it, innit? And Easy said, we win together, we lose together. 90 minutes for every player to impact the game. Stop the scapegoating and agendas.
Yeah.
Much appreciate that, but I also have to say I need to drop my agendas as well. Slens, go on. You had something you
I was just going to say, bro, if you're going to blame him for the West Brom game or the red card, whatever, are you going to accept that the Arsenal game is also Zuma to be responsible for that mistake? Because he put him in that position, right? Put him in that position.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Cool. I can accept that. But
remember, at the same time, Jorginho picked his head up and he saw where Kepa was. So
of course, you have to blame.
You have to blame.
I'm not saying he's not to blame.
No, Jorginho takes some of the blame for that. Jorginho takes some of the blame for that. Cool, I get that. Yeah. But Zuma should never have given him the ball the second time.
I agree.
Not when he had 4 Arsenal players around him and his only outlet was back to goal.
The reason I agree with that is because every single time Rudiger has been in that position, instead of electing to just try and keep playing out from the back, Rudiger has opted to just boot the ball up the field.
Because he's a better player.
I love.
Exactly. No. I'm saying fully. Like, not fully. That's why I fully think that, like, the Zuma really doesn't have that
Don't
big
get
of a
protected enough. That's why.
Everton or something like that. Like that would be a good club for him. He'd have a good career.
Yeah.
He'd have plenty of playing time. I'd be really happy
And
for
you
him.
know they play for
I
set
love
pieces,
Zuma, but I just don't want him to play here.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Maybe
Like,
even
Zuma's
Burnley
been
as
a great
well.
servant for us, man.
With the Jorginho
Matt
thing,
said
right?
Burnley
With the
goal
West
is
Brom game, I will
international
say he
respect,
bar like he had a bad game, but I would not say he was at fault for any of what happened. Like the Thiago Silva thing, I can't remember the first yellow card, but the second yellow card isn't a yellow card.
The
And then
first
all
yellow
the
card,
goals-
hold on, real quick. Let me explain. The first yellow card, it was he had to bring somebody down because they were running in behind him at the middle of the field where Jorginho's supposed to be. We're literally the middle of the field where Jorginho's supposed to be.
The only goal though that he was
second one-
involved in.
The second one was right at the top of the box where
but that
Jorginho
wasn't
was
a yellow
supposed to be.
card. It was a
Where
terrible
Jorginho
pass,
was
but it
supposed
wasn't
to
a
be.
yellow card.
The first,
Yeah, but
no,
it
I'm
wasn't a
talking
yellow
about the
card.
second one.
Yeah,
When
the
he
second
made
one
that
wasn't a
flying
yellow card.
tackle, Jorginho was supposed to be in that position as a body to block the shot. I'm not talking about.
Right, you know what? I'm gonna get the West Brom
I'm
highlights
talking
on my
about
TV.
positioning. The position.
You're actually gonna make me rewatch this shit show.
Do a
What-
Yeah,
replay.
I'm saying
Oh my God.
the Jorginho, the second yellow card was a poor thing by Jorginho. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter because it shouldn't have been a yellow card anyway. That's bad refereeing. It wasn't a red
No,
card.
that does that matter. You're moving goalposts now, Scott, man. At the end
Welcome
of the
to
day,
the
the
stream,
principle's
sir.
there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the ref
Right,
gives.
let me get
At
this
the end of
West
the
Brom
day, if you
highlight.
put
Yeah,
yourself
it's
in that
not-
position,
real-
do you know what I'm
this is
saying?
not-
What happened?
Experienced 36-year-old dives into a tackle like that, and you'll blame. I can't believe. Anyways, man. Good vibes. Good vibes. We just won the Champions League. I don't care, man.
Yeah, which
Look, it's
Jorginho
not a
was an
debate.
integral
There's only
part.
one person going for.
Yeah, guys, come on. Good vibes. Kepa just won us the Champions League. Come on. Good vibes.
What is this?
Jorginho dominated Real Madrid, so you know. Can't have it.
Hey, it wouldn't be a stream if we didn't have a Jorginho debate. It wouldn't be.
Of course.
J5 high,
I
baby.
don't like
We're here.
Jorginho.
We're here.
Yeah.
I don't like him. I'm having to defend him.
I think you like him now, Andrew. I think you like him.
Well,
Andrew,
that's-
the enemy of my enemy is my friend, yeah?
Well, yeah, sure.
But
He's like my favourite player.
in all fairness, though, in all fairness, as a regista, is he fully doing his role?
Yes.
Yes.
We just won a Champions League with the regista.
He's giving enough passes.
Yes.
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 Hold on.
He's a better forward passer than both Kante and
completely feel
Kovacic are
you, bro. I feel
combined.
you.
Okay.
Hold
I feel you,
hold
Doug, I
on.
feel
What position do you play?
Huh?
You play football?
I used to, but not anymore.
What position did you play?
I was a right back.
Okay, so you're not a regista.
No, I'm not a regista.
Fine.
What does that mean?
Jorginho does a good job as a regista. He's not Pirlo level, obviously not, but he does a very good job.
Past Pirlo's
He's a
level.
very different player.
So that's why
Kings Road Taylor, man.
what I'm seeing,
Yeah,
right?
Kings Road. Kings Road. Taylor.
I'm seeing Timo Werner with his hands up looking for a forward pass one too many times for him not to receive it.
No.
Not to receive it. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the amount of stamina that's being exerted because these players just aren't getting the ball anymore.
He can find more forward passes.
Okay, yeah, for example, the Werner thing, I do kind of agree. Werner's in a position that people don't.
Performances.
So what was that?
What I
Doug?
will say though is,
I'm saying who's the man of the match in our last 3 Champions League performances?
Kante's incredible, bro. Of course, it's
I know,
Kante.
fully.
Generational, man.
I know. I'm saying Conte's the reason why we got the
It's a bad
Champions League.
comparison.
Not
Yeah, no,
Jorginho, in my opinion.
I mean,
Wait,
and
wait,
Jorginho.
In my opinion.
Bro,
Jorginho,
Bro, it was a
Jorginho
two-man
played his
field.
part, man. Jorginho played his part.
It was a two-man midfield, bro.
I agree.
Two-man midfield.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. He played his part. I think he could have done more in a sense.
no, Chouamini is not.
We won the tournament. What more can you do? We won the
What can you
tournament.
do?
We made Modric, Cruz, and Casemiro look like League 2 players. And what more could you do?
In my opinion, Conte made him do that. Jorginho did that.
So he did it by himself.
Hold on. So if we played Billy Gilmore in those 2 games in the semi-final, would we have gone through?
No, but I think we could have played Kovacic
No,
if he had been
no,
healthy.
man.
If he had been healthy. If he had
No,
been healthy.
Jorginho should have had 2 assists in the second leg against Real Madrid because of the through balls he put through. He should have had 2 assists
Fair.
because of
Fair.
because Kai Havertz couldn't finish in that second leg.
Fair.
That's really robbed. So
Again,
can I clarify
that's
something?
fair. But this is the thing, right? My only criticism of Jorginho is that he doesn't do the forward passes enough. That is my only. That's my only criticism.
You realize
it's criticism.
So, can I be honest?
So hold on. Because you want a sorry, Scott. So because you want a player to do something that he doesn't naturally do, you're criticizing him.
Also,
no, I'm criticizing him because that is the role that he's supposed to play within this team.
That's not the
This is
role.
like the Conte final ball thing.
Hang on. This whole debate has just started because you've asked if he does his job as a regista correctly. He does. A regista doesn't play a lot of forward passes. They're tasked with winning the ball back and starting attacks, which can be just from a simple 5-yard pass, which he does. He literally does his job.
Mm-hmm.
If we're asking him to be a deep line playmaker like a Fabregas type, he's not that player. He can play those passes, but that's not his game, and that's not what a regista is.
Right, but now you look at the squad that we have, and if Conte can't do that, doesn't that responsibility fall on him?
No.
Yeah, but
No,
then again,
job.
that's not his natural job.
Mount is one of the ones that is trying to make the runs.
Mount connects the midfield through Jorginho.
He creates the most chances because he gets on the ball and tries to create
Yeah,
chances.
but I'm saying,
Mount does.
But also the reason why we're looking at the fact that we don't have enough men in the box whenever we make these runs is because Mount has to drop back and play those passes.
That's why we're buying Haaland.
If Mount is there, receiving the passes, there's going to be more men in the box.
Okay, how about you look at it from this way? Jorginho's job is for us to keep possession of the ball and keep it ticking because we're now a possession-based team.
Yes.
If our forwards, so just based off last season, miss so many chances continuously, what is the point of always spamming forward passes for someone like, say, Werner to miss a chance, the opposition get the ball, they counter against us, we concede, then all of a sudden you guys are blaming Jorginho for being out of position.
That's a good point. That's a fair point. But again, it's about the fact that look, it's the more we create, the more we're going to score, right?
Yeah, in theory.
Simply put, in theory.
Well, also the more we finish, the more we'll score.
Yeah. But the more we create, the more we will score.
Doug, do you know what's mad?
You know we create. We do create. We don't finish.
Yeah.
We would have beaten Real Madrid 6-0 in the second leg. You do know that.
But how many times have we seen a ball go through the box because there isn't one player making that run?
Right, that's the attack.
Exactly. And like I said, if Mount is up with the attack instead of having to drop deep to receive the ball.
Okay, but are we going to think isn't Mount going to be more likely to be the player making that cross, that ball into the box, than being on the end of it?
No, for me it would be the
striker at the end of that.
For me, it will be the wingbacks that are making the cross.
So what I don't get
the wingbacks, the right forwards and the left forwards.
Huh?
Mount has the most
right
crosses on the team.
Because if it's a Mount or a Havertz, it's likely to be Mount making that ball. If it's a Mount, Werner, and a Ziyech, it'll probably be Ziyech or Mount making the ball.
In an ideal back five system, you have the wingbacks whipping in the ball so that the three attackers that you have are in the box.
Yeah, but your play isn't solely coming from the wingbacks. They're just there to provide width as well.
The crosses should, so that you have the most amount of players in the box.
No, it will come from other areas as well. It's not just from the wide flank. That's why 17-18, a lot of our goals came from Azpilicueta, the right centre-back period of the pitch, laying it over to Morata. It's not just from your wingbacks.
No, correct. That's the defending position. That's still the defenders that is given the ball. The three attackers should be in the box, is what I'm saying.
The only criticism you can have...
No, because it depends on the profile of the attackers too.
I was going to say...
The only criticism you could have of Jorginho is the fact that if you put a physical midfielder that will press him, he can give up the ball. You can't slate him for his passing. He is one of the better passers on this team.
Yeah.
That's not his issue. His issue is you put a physical DM on him or a central midfielder that will press him and get up in him, he can give the ball away. That's the only thing you can say.
Also, as well, like go and look at the way Inter play with their three at the back system, and there'll be times they scored plenty of goals this season where they didn't pack the box. It was playing a ball in and building it up through the middle. It doesn't always have to be you pack the box every time and whip a ball in. There's different ways to build up. Like there were plenty of times I saw games where I'd see Lukaku holding the ball up and play up just a ball in behind for Martinez, or vice versa. and just playing it through the middle. It doesn't always have to come from the wing backs. It can come from many different avenues. It's how the team sets up. It's how you're playing. The formation is just where you set up on the pitch, but just because one formation mirrors another formation, they can be playing completely different systems. One could be developing from the flanks, and one could be developing from in the middle and using a lot more shorter passing.
We seem to find the ball behind their, like right in front of the opposition back four from either Thiago Silva or from Jorginho into Mount, who's like right in that 10 position, who then connects the wing back or plays the ball through to one of our quote unquote strikers, one of the people who are actually playing in the front too. But against the back four, or a low block, I completely agree with you, Dag. Like the way we play the balls, we get out, we work in wide positions, we try to move their back line around by quick switches of play, and then we try to overload the box. But we haven't had the profile of striker who's comfortable in that situation. And that's why I'm really excited about Haaland, because against that kind of team, those crosses aren't going to go begging. I mean, how many did Timo miss like right across the face of goal? I was watching Haaland highlights, and he eats those for breakfast, man. Like he will be finishing those off, no problem. So I don't think that we have a disagreement on what Jorginho is doing. I just think that we're frustrated with the lack of finishing that we're seeing from the front line. And then we're kind of projecting that onto the other areas of the pitch that are actually functioning as intended.
So
I think that was perfect. God, just one sec before you do it. Rokar says Jorginho is the most important midfielder in Chelsea and also Italy. Watch him in the Euros; he'll be more important than Verratti. I'm going to have a big eye on it in the Euros as well. But big up for the donation too. Dinishan saying Jorginho is not Pirlo, but he did better than Pogba. Pogba's more box to box or plays more attacking. But if we're talking about time in England, yeah, he's definitely done his time in England. Jorginho.
I don't know if Verratti even made the team. I don't know if Verratti's in the Euros.
He's in the squad. Verratti. Is Verratti not in the squad?
He is in the squad. He's in the squad.
Verratti in the first. He probably won't play much in the group games because it makes sense. Because Italy should get out quickly, so for them, tactically, it makes sense not to play him much in the group games, just so that he doesn't get injured in the business stage of the Euros.
I think it'll be him. It'll be Verratti, Jorginho, and Barella probably, or Pellegrini.
I think it's going to be Locatelli. Just because
if they don't want him to get injured, if they want to be smart and don't want him to get injured, he shouldn't play that much in the group.
Nah, I think he'll play Locatelli instead because Mancini likes.
He might play Locatelli instead. Yeah.
Locatelli's a baller though, man.
iTest Merchant is saying, was Bakayoko and Emerson contracts expire 2022. Okay, we need to get rid of them this season then. We're likely to give them contract extensions so we can try and sell.
No. Don't put that out there. Don't put that into
that energy.
You know what happened? We're capable of that. We gave Nishi a fucking 1 year extension last year for the exact same thing now.
It'd be another year. Yeah.
Jorginho released the ball very quick. He passed the ball with no more than 2 touches. Whereas all other midfielders take time on the ball. He's specialist. He's very quick, so he's the ball out quickly. Yeah, I feel like with Jorginho, it's the same thing you say with Busquets, where if you focus on him more, you miss out on other aspects of the game. But the whole attack flows through him, and it's literally just because he does the simple thing, but he does it perfectly. As long as, like Jester said, his only weakness is that he isn't really that strong on the ball. Like you saw in the Aston Villa game, he can get out-muscled. And even in the Aston Villa game, I was saying he didn't really have a bad game. He just got out-muscled off the ball a lot. And that's something that he can't
They weren't calling fouls.
You can't really take that away from him. The bad game he's had in the run into the season is the Arsenal match. Other than that, I don't think we've seen a bad game from him since West Brom. But like we said, what performances when he plays badly.
So that's why I think that the DM that's going to come in is going to be Julian Weigl, because he's more like Jorginho than any other DM we're talking about.
What about Locatelli?
We're not in for Locatelli.
I know, but no one's in for Locatelli, which is weird.
I don't want any more registers, man. I don't want any more registers. I'm sorry, bro.
I don't think he'll leave Italy.
No, he will. There's no bids, but there's a lot of interest on him at the minute. A lot of interest.
Look, but
he plays for Sassuolo. He's a midfielder. He used to play for Milan. He's actually pretty decent. I haven't seen too much of him. I watched too much of Sassuolo. From what I've seen,
he does what Jorginho does, but he's more physical and he gets stuck into tackles.
The same thing with Weigl, and Tuchel has actually worked with Weigl before.
What's his first name? Manuel?
Yeah.
Wait, Justice, do you think Weigl is mobile? Because I think he's the same physically with Jorginho, man. I don't think he gets around the pitch as quick as we expect at the end.
No, he's not.
Hold on. I just googled his name up, and he just agreed personal terms with Juventus for a 5-year contract.
Yeah.
So Weigl is not quick either by any stretch of the imagination.
There you go, up and down, right there.
But he is more physical than Jorginho is. He actually played center back some at Dortmund in his last year because they were so injured in the center back position. So he's not a burner by any stretch of the imagination. But if you're looking for somebody that we're looking at that's similar to Jorginho and plays the same role that Jorginho plays, it would be Weigl.
To be honest, I think Tchouaméni should be the
No, I'll prefer Tchouaméni.
Yeah, Tchouaméni, man.
Yeah, the stats that I've looked at.
Tchouaméni is just the instant upgrade, man.
But who says we're only bringing one central midfielder?
You're on mute. What do you say?
I just don't think it makes sense to bring in more especially if we're going to carry on playing this 5 at the back, because then you've got way too many midfielders. You've got 6 midfielders for 2 spots, maybe even 7 if you include Mount in that. That's just that's an argument waiting to happen in terms of game time. People are going to get pissed. And so unless we're planning on selling one or 2 of them, it doesn't. Yeah, unless we're planning on selling someone, or a couple people, it just doesn't make any sense to bring in.
But we need 2 central midfielders, I believe, because we're one injury away from being short in the midfielder, and you have to have somebody to rotate in and out. Because we have 3 midfielders that play that role: Conte, Kovacic, and Jorginho. If one of them goes down, who?
So technically, I have 4.
Well, Billy Gilmore, but we know he's going out on loan.
Yeah, he should, to be fair.
I don't think he'll be.
But listen, if we get Tchouaméni, right, we can have Kante, Tchouaméni start, and then we have Jorginho, Kovacic rotation, huh?
Tchouaméni won't start. Jorginho will start over Tchouaméni.
Off the bat. Not off the bat. He's really
young.
He
will, yeah.
Coming from
But what I'm saying is, if
you bring him for the certain games as well, but he isn't going to be our starter. He's too young for it. You have to bed him in.
Yeah, how come there hasn't been any reports about Zakaria going anywhere?
Because he's injury prone.
Okay, well there you go.
Right, Zakaria, yeah. I don't want
so what I'm saying is, if we have,
you don't need similar to Jorginho, we need a strong D. Is my mic bugging out? Can you hear me?
We're just too far away from it.
A little bit far away.
Always happens. If anyone asks why my mic's always close to my face, this is why. I test Merchant said we don't need similar to Jorginho. We need a strong DM. That's what I'm saying. We need that profile of a DM just so we can interchange a little bit more. It's not even as a replacement. It's because it's something that we're lacking in the squad. You get that we can interchange between a back 4 and a back 5 a lot more easier. But that doesn't mean we replace anyone. We add some midfield that we have. Remember, we used to have a midfield of Lampard, SN, Ballack, Makaleli, Mikel, all at once fighting for positions in the squad. So there's no reason why we can't have the same energy here as well. Got another donation from JP saying, once this thing shows, my laptop is taking the piss today. With additions of Haaland and Hakimi, will Ziyech or Odoi be forced to leave this summer? Also, will Werner's role in the club be jeopardized? We were speaking earlier about it and saying Ziyech could be very likely to leave, especially the recent news that's been coming out of him falling out with Tuchel and Italian clubs like Lazio and AC Milan being interested. I don't think Odoi leaves, but Hakim Ziyech probably does leave. Werner's role in the club being jeopardized? I mean, we'll still rotate regardless, so I won't say his role would be in jeopardy, but if he plays the same way he did last season, then yeah, his role will definitely be in jeopardy because we aren't giving him the same patience in his second season. He has to be more clinical, or that's just it, really. But yeah,
big up, head off, yeah? Big up, bro.
Yeah, take care, Slim.
I would say as well, with what you said about the midfielder thing, notice that every midfielder you said there is all different. They all offer something different. They're not the same type of profile. Like the only 2 you can say are maybe the same profile are Mikel and Makalele, but Mikel was never a starter consistently. They're all different types.
Well. That's what you
Yeah, it's like they're all different type of players, and that's the thing. It's like different type of players for different systems. Like if we come up against a team where we're going to have more of the ball and it's going to be more of a physical battle, Tchouaméni's perfect. that's going to be a case of, we're going to need the balls in behind, we're going to need a bit more trickery or whatever, then Jorginho's perfect. It's having different players to suit different ways of playing or to suit different teams we're going to come up against. There's no point getting all of one type of player because then it's really easy to play against all of them.
About profiles, yeah, and keeping a balance in the squad.
Different midfielders. Xavi, I sent you the link as well. Artem saying all Weigl rumors are coming from his own agent. I know it's with Tuchel and Dortmund, but I don't see it happening. Don't be surprised if Rice still happens. I would, because he's going to cost 80 million. Like, he's now at a team that's in Europe, so they're going to be even more stronger on their on how much they want for him. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get Rice. And you know what? I've said the same thing from the start. The guy's £80 million. We can get the same profile of a midfielder for about half the price. We don't need him. We really
exactly, and like they don't need to sell him. He's not made any movements to move, so it's not like they're like, oh, we've got to get rid of him because he really wants to leave. It's like they literally can do a less than
no incentive to sell.
I think you're meant to be a West Ham player.
Yes,
imagine if this was the other way around and we saw a man twerking for Arsenal or Spurs like this.
No, we have. No, Lewis, someone mentioned on Twitter, Stephanie mentioned it on Twitter, actually, we already have, and people got on his back.
Who?
Jorginho, or at least his agent, and people went fucking mental.
He said he don't like the weather here, and other than that...
No, but his agent constantly mentioned how he'd like to go back to Napoli, and people get on his back, and it's the same fucking thing of Rice. It's like...
I bet Naples is awesome.
I've never been.
Yeah. I mean, all I've heard from Italian players and managers who come to Chelsea is that they get homesick in the season and want to come back anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised. It's similar.
Probably would too. Yeah.
I mean, with the food, yeah.
Once they eat that nasty food.
They're fucking full English. You realize how bad the levels are here compared to...
Just go to Nando's every day. You can't do that, bro.
Get yourself 4 wings and chips and a burger. Fuck it. I'm not surprised, man. We're so uncreative.
Yeah, I don't think Thomas Tuchel rates Ziyech. So, for all those in the chat, I just don't think he fits what Thomas Tuchel wants from that position. Not to say he's a bad player. I wanted Ziyech to come. I was excited that Ziyech was coming.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be our best performer of the season.
But this is Chelsea.
I just don't think that, number one, he's happy, because that's from his agent to a Dutch newspaper earlier this season. He is not happy with London. So if he's not happy with where he's living, he's not happy with the coach because he's not getting the playing time he wants, why would he want to stick around? So it's not slander on Ziyech. He's actually scored some very important goals for us, but he's 28. He can't afford to have another season of what he did this year because he's 28. He needs to go play because he doesn't have the time left. So a slower league where he has more time on the ball, like a Serie A, like a La Liga, like a Ligue 1, would suit him because he likes to have time on the ball to get his head up and pick a pass. Whereas the Premier League, you don't have that time. Somebody's on you like white on rice.
What's clattering you?
Like rice.
We got Rice at home.
Like white on Declan Rice. Yeah.
Yes, white on. That's a new saying up there.
Yeah.
Think on shit.
Translucent.
Yeah. But seriously though, Declan Rice is not going to go for more than 60 million. I'm not taking Declan Rice in 60. Whether it be next year,
and you got to forget. Bro, we are one of West Ham's biggest rivals. Why would they sell him for anything less than the main price?
Because second he hands in a transfer request, that price gets cut.
Yeah, but he's not going to. He has no reason to.
Of course. I'm talking about give him a year or two. I'm not talking about this summer. This summer, I do not think it's happening. Give him a year, give him a 2 years, he will go for less than 60 million. If not,
cool. And in 2 years, we can have someone in this position already.
Fair. But then we're going to see if they are good enough. But what happens if he keeps on developing? How much can he develop? Honestly, if he's already the captain of West Ham and led them into Europe, how much better can he be at 22?
Plenty.
Exactly.
He ain't going to be Claude Makelele, is he?
But if you're saying his price is going down, that means he has regressed.
No.
progressed.
I'm talking about if his contract, if he doesn't
Contract situation, age.
if he doesn't
Yeah.
re-sign, and if he hands in a transfer request.
Yeah, but
Then it's-
by
yeah,
that
there's a
point,
lot of
say he
ifs.
A
improves.
lot of ifs, but
I was going to say, and say he improves, all of a sudden that valuation goes up. They could still ask for 80 because he'll be better than he was now.
But if he improves, but they don't make it into Europe, so they have nothing that holds on to him. They have no leverage over him.
Yeah, but this is also the same. Like, they brought him through. Like, you can tell with the fact that we're interested supposedly, and he still hasn't made it clear to them he wants to leave. He's like, he still wants to stay and do well in Europe. He could leave now easily. Like, he has no. It's the same with like Hazard when he was at us. It's like, why just go? You don't need to stay. But it's like he's making it clear he doesn't have any like want or desire to push for a move. And then it's like as well, like.
But it sounds like we all agree that he's not coming this year.
You know,
yeah.
Say it again.
So it sounds like we all agree though that he's not coming this year, and that best case scenario, if his value increases and we find some sort of like cost-effective way to get him in like 2 to 3 years, then maybe we would look at it. Totally agree with that. But right now, as things stand, with this price tag, and again, I kind of agree with Lewis. I don't see why they would budge on that valuation when they have no reason to sell, other than maybe him agitating. But it seems like he's not going to. Then Tuchemini makes a ton of sense.
It's a carbon copy of what happened with Maguire to Leicester, where they constantly went, "Oh, we're not paying 80 million. We're not paying 80 million. We'll give you 60. We're not paying 80 million." What happened?
Then they did.
Paid 80 million.
But look what we did with Chilwell too. I mean, I guess that's he agitated.
No, we got that down, I think, a little bit. United literally wasted months going, "We're not paying that. We're not paying that. We're not paying that." Okay, we'll pay that. So we're just fucking paying in the first place then. Like,
did Chilwell ask to leave, or did he just?
Yeah, no, I don't think he asked to leave, but from everything that like we've heard from Neil and others,
and all that. They benched him and all that. He left.
He was like, you could tell he was down in tools because he was angry from a move.
He
Like,
wasn't trying. He wasn't. Yeah.
But I don't think it was like an official transfer request, right?
No, he never actually put in a transfer request, but you could tell he was like he wanted to move and he wasn't trying. He wasn't bothering.
Who's this?
Chilwell, like before he came to us.
Like that's why they were booing the hell out of him when we played him in the FA Cup. Like he left terribly, like in the worst way possible.
Yeah,
probably had part to do with the discount too.
He didn't really leave in that bad of a way. It was because it was on the cards for months, and because of his comments leading up to the FA Cup final, which I didn't even think were that bad. Just seemed hella petty from Leicester, but it's what it is, I guess.
They seem to hate him though.
I mean, no. But let's be realistic about it, right? If you brought, I'm saying to you as the club, right? If you look as a club brought this player from your youth academy, right? Gave him every opportunity he's ever had in football, right? Got him his first English cap, right? And you do all this just for him to not try in practice, just not do it, and just not try at all in actual games, and really just not show any sort of professionalism. That's leaving.
Bro, I hear what you're saying, but you know they actually needed to sell Ben Chilwell as well.
Yeah,
they had the new training ground coming up that's only just opening. They need to revamp the King Power Stadium. King Power as well in itself has had a really bad last few years because they're involved in duty free and they're involved in airlines, and with the whole pandemic and everything, they have struggled. So they needed to sell an asset. And Leicester fans, I've had Neil on my channel during the whole Ben Chilwell saga as well, and he was saying, if there's anyone in the back four that does have to go, rather it be Ben Chilwell. And the way their defense is, I don't even blame them either, but that's also not taking anything away from Chilwell. It was just something that was good for both sides.
Plus, if he wasn't playing well, the club would be the fans would be the first to say get rid of him. Do you know what I mean? It's all football is an hypocrisy upon itself. Do you know what I mean? We did the same.
Yeah.
If he wasn't playing well, they'd be going they'd be like the club was going to get rid of him. They'd be going, yeah, get rid of him as soon as possible. So the only thing loyalty in football is us, the fans, to the club, and the players, which is rightly so, to their wallets, and that's all that matters. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because remember, it could be a short career. He could sign. He could have signed for us and then got a knee ligament injury in training. Do you know what I mean? That's how ridiculous this sport could be. But you know. Remember, Leicester fans also told us that he can't defend as well, and look how he's turned out this season. Yeah, do you know what I mean? So
Hey, Lewis, real quick. I appreciate you having me on again. I got to go pay bills, so
of course,
work
bro.
calls,
Appreciate
man.
you jumping on. As always, great for jumping on, man. Much appreciated.
Anytime. We'll see y'all next time.
See you, mate.
See you next time. Enjoy your day.
Take care,
Deepan
bro.
saying, what's everyone's first choice for a signing for a striker, midfielder, right back? We're all on the same page. We're going with Hakimi, Tchouameni, and Lukaku/Haaland.
Oi, man, you know.
Haaland. It is now Haaland. It's just
No,
Haaland.
yeah, get it right.
Yeah.
I mean, we did say the Lukaku stuff isn't gone yet. It's not yet.
The Lukaku, the train is slowly pulling out of the station, man. I ain't even. It's going, bro.
I already told Oscar, hold my ticket for the Haaland train. If it's about to depart, I'll jump on final few minutes
I
or
wouldn't
something.
be surprised
I'll be a late arrival.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Lukaku stuff still coming out is actually from us trying to bait Borussia Dortmund.
No, because you see how we've been interested in Haaland. You see how we've been interested in Haaland suddenly, and Inter and now like, okay, cool, it's not done just yet. Where before it was like, no, we're going anywhere. Like I still think there's something in there.
Don't play with Dortmund. That's the one thing that if I could
say, like, how would we be playing with Dortmund?
No. I'm saying in a sense of for the future as well, because of the amount of talent that Dortmund just is able to develop. Just don't do anything that would put a bad taste in Dortmund's mouth. I'm not saying they have or they will. I'm just saying as a precaution because of the, dude.
But I'm just confused as to like why would we be playing Dortmund, seeing as they literally don't want to sell Haaland?
No. I'm talking about like if we keep coming in with like, oh, we'll give you 100 million, no more. Oh, we'll give you 105, no more. Oh, we'll give you 110, no more. Oh, we'll give you 115. Like, don't do that. Like, just pay the price that they ask for.
That's Man U. Marina doesn't play that. Like, I remember when we were going in for negotiations on Havertz, and she was doing like opposition research, like literally going around finding out people's personal weaknesses. Like, I don't think that we're going to be the kind of club that comes in half baked and we're like, hey, we'll do 100 mil. Oh wait, we were just kidding. Here's 120. Like, we'll be serious. We're a serious club.
But for real, like, because dude, like Jude Bellingham is one of those players that they have that in the future, man. If only if. Right? Like, it's just the amount of players that are coming through that side, we'll see. But, like, dude, another player that they have that I'm actually, like, really interested in, like, have you Mohamed Dahoud?
What, Mahmoud Dahoud?
Yeah, dude. No, I'm talking about his ball-playing ability, dude. He's dirty, bro. He's dirty with the ball at his feet, though. He's dirty with the ball at his feet.
He's on and off.
Hello,
man. He's on and off.
Yeah. He's like a tap. He turns it on and off.
He does have injury problems as well, though. He does
turn it on and off like a tap. You know
yeah.
what I mean? It's no consistency, really.
Do we need a left wing back?
Game against Sevilla. So.
No, because if we get a team, we can play both.
Yeah.
Like we might need one in a sense of like a backup, but as I said, if we get Hakimi, you can play both. But if we get a backup, like maybe, but
I'm thinking Emerson leaves, right? And it sounds like obviously Alonso's reached the end of his tenure. I'm just trying to think. Well, I mean, that leaves us kind of short. But I mean, if Hakimi can do it, that's two birds, one stone, even better.
So it's all right, guys. Christensen, I've been just given the okay. Christensen's going to be sold.
I think we need. I think we need.
Christensen's going to be sold. We're all good.
Wayne, you've only been on here for a minute or two. It can end like that, you know. You dickhead. What are you saying, bro?
I've got some news. You know what we thought with Hakimi was a bit of a side, and it's a bit of a shock that we've matched it with PSG.
Yeah.
That is nothing compared to what the shocks I've been told today. There's some shocks even more shocking than that we could be signing by the end of the season.
We got news. Let's go. What's got the news, Matty?
Well,
Harry Winks, yeah. Harry Winks is on, yeah. Harry Winks.
No. We're not Man United. We're not Man United. No, what I've been told is that we're going to be buying a big centre back, but it's not the ones we thought we'd be signing.
That probably means Kunde, probably, and I don't want him. I'll be real. I don't want him.
It's going to be. Look, I'm just. This is just guessing.
That LaCroix.
Either De Vrij or Skriniar. One of those.
Wait, hold on. Sergio Ramos on a free.
It'd be delicious.
I'd say that. I genuinely take Sergio Ramos on a free.
Even Sergio Ramos
signed a new deal, hasn't he?
There's rumours he's going to sign a 1-year extension. Yeah.
I think it's going to be an Inter player. I think
after Haaland, and Verratti, it'll be De Ligt for the Raiola hat trick.
Yeah. The problem is, like, so I see people mention like Lacroix. That's not a big name. That's not a big centre back. That he'd be a backup.
He'd be like replacing Zuma, wouldn't he?
I think
that level.
Koundé would be big in terms of like it would be expensive. I just don't want Koundé. He's awful.
He's overrated. He's not awful. He's very overrated.
No, you're not awful. Awful was probably a bit of a stretch, but overrated. Like he's terrible in the air.
Kimpembe?
Those Inter defenders, they had a really good defensive record this year, bro.
Kimpembe and Marquinhos.
But even then, with the Inter defenders, Bastoni's been the best one out of all of them this season.
If we're talking about massive names.
Big up Bastoni.
We're talking about massive names. You got to think of like Kimpembe or Marquinhos or something.
Kimpembe's the one, man. Kimpembe is the one.
Yeah.
This would be amazing. I would love that.
And left-footed, so could play on the left of the 3 or in the left of the 2.
Get it right, Scott. Marquinhos is the one. We can't get
it. Obviously, but like we're not getting Marquinhos, so
yeah, exactly.
Hey, I didn't think we were getting Hakimi. I didn't think we were going for Haaland.
Well, you want to talk about being Galacticos? You want to talk about
crazy, Scott?
You want to talk about being Galacticos? Go and get Marquinhos. Then you can prove it to me.
I'll take De Vrij or Skriniar, to be fair, or Ramos.
You know what? If this is Roman doing this to appease us because of the
we
Super
need
League,
none of them. None of them.
Danish
You want to talk about Galactico? Here's your Galactico, and we brought him from the academy. Let's go.
I'm sorry,
Come on,
Lewis,
up the
Lewis, if we have to sacrifice AC for Kimpembe and Marquinhos, it's happening, bro. It's just happening, man.
Who is Marquinhos in this game compared to Andreas Baresi? Get out of here, man.
He's AC's boss. He's the
warlord. Are you mad? AC about to get the promotion.
Lewis, let him win a title next season, then we can talk about Baresi and Maldini.
He's won something bigger than a title, my G. He won the Champions League and he dropped a 10 out of 10 in the final.
Retain the Champions League then, and then we can talk.
Boy, this man, his standards.
I've got standards.
The standards.
I've seen some of the best centre backs of all time. I've got
Champions
standards.
League. Same year. Let's go.
Of course, man. You've seen Christensen play the whole season. Of course you have.
No, get that Ballon d'Or. Get that Christensen Ballon d'Or.
What Ballon d'Or? What?
Christensen has to do something special for me to apologise to him.
Hi, Lawrence deleted there, you bastard.
Hold on, Wayne, was that all the news you had?
Yeah, Wayne, more information, please.
Yeah, that's what I've been told, and that it's going to be a lot. It's not going to be loads of signings, but it's going to be surprise ones and surprise goings. That's all I've been told. I can't go into details because I don't want to. Obviously, the person I've got, I've given confidence that I'm not going to say anything. So, yeah. But the other thing is
that when he's polishing them?
I've got some other news though. Timo Werner, he said he wants to sack his agent and he wants a new one. Someone like called Agent Molds. I don't know who. That could be.
Hold on. Fator walked away about the season getting sacked. Fator, did you get sacked?
No, but Fator's only his lawyer, not his agent.
Lawyer, yeah, legal representation.
He's only his lawyer.
No, he doesn't want lawyer or nothing. He wants a proper agent. So he's asked me. That's all I'm saying.
Agent Molds. Make a move. Build a portfolio.
Don't even think about it, please.
Hey, listen. Just make sure when the next contract comes up.
Yeah. Wasn't your agreement with Werner signed on the back of a napkin?
No.
Exactly. I've got a piece of paper.
Didn't you? Fator, didn't you sign that thing with Timo under duress?
Yeah, of course.
Timo was under duress.
Fata, how about you go and represent Haaland instead, and maybe the negotiations will be a bit easier.
We want him to come in, not go away.
No, don't worry. If Haaland comes to Chelsea, he'll be my other client. So don't worry.
Hopefully not.
You need to get yourself some hobbies, Feta, man. Seriously.
Haaland representing every player in world football.
All this representation, it's going to your mind, bro. You know.
We've got Lewis representing Christensen, Fator representing Werner. Jesus Christ.
Prime representing what? Well, Andrew representing Mendy, that's for sure.
Safe bet. Safe pair of hands.
The safe pair of hands.
I've been seeing people link the Haaland to like Sancho? Like if Sancho leaves, then there's no way. But like, do you think that there's any truth to that?
No.
If we make a crazy bid.
I think Sancho is definitely leaving as long as a bid comes in, obviously. But Haaland's the one they don't want to sell. But I think someone said it today or yesterday. It was like, if a big enough bid comes in, they'll accept.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't want to sell him, but if a big enough bid comes in, they can't.
Mad.
Yeah.
Big up Mo
So
Vale. I think this is meant to be commentary for next season's Champions League final. He's saying, from Mount to Kai to Haaland, Chelsea win the Champions League back to back. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
If Mason
I hope
Mount
that's what we're
gets,
going to be hearing at
if
the end
Mason
of the
Mount
season.
gets 2 assists in 2 back-to-back Champions League games, the Champions League finals, oh my god.
Johnny won't stop talking.
Yeah, Johnny is going to creep himself again. But we'll all be here for it. Anyone got any final thoughts or we wrap up the stream?
Lord Vader is his. Put the tweet out I saw with the Haaland and Sancho thing. Put it.
That's what I was talking about. Tweets, yeah, Absolute Chelsea just said Callum Hudson-Odoi would like to stay at Chelsea, but the club would listen to offers for him. Just came out now, 11 minutes ago.
Yeah, Hudson-Odoi's always wanted to stay. Dan McCarthy was saying that like the last 4 years, like his mind's been switched. He's wanted to stay at Chelsea, even with the Bayern Munich stuff. That was more him trying to force their hand to give him a higher wage, but he never really wanted to leave. What's Lord Vader saying? Strong interest in Haaland is confirmed. Bayern Munich Dortmund have no intention to sell Haaland this summer, especially if Sancho leaves. Anyway,
yeah.
I mean that's all that we already knew anyway.
Yeah, it's true.
They have no intention to sell, but if you give us 150 million, we'll sell. That's what it is.
We'll be your Huckleberry.
We will sell if you give us 150 million, basically. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying.
Simple enough.
They're saying it because they don't think anyone's going to do it. And that's why they said they have no intention to sell. However, they leave the door open by going, but if you bid...
Yes, Craig,
amount,
Haaland first, then deal with the other deals. I hear what you're saying, but we said about literally like Scott's saying, we have different budgets. We don't need to focus on one and then the other when we get problem at the same time. So I don't really mind too much. But we are going to end this stream. Go on, Andrew. You got it. What are you going to say, man?
I'm just saying, if we did what Craig just said then we risk losing other players. You know what I mean? The whole point is it's a network. Marina's the head. She has deputies that are working on other deals. Then it goes to her and finalisation from Roman, doesn't it? That's how it works, right? To go ahead, to pay. That's how it works. So Marina's probably working on this Haaland deal. There's others that are working on the Hakimi deal. It goes to her. Sign off. Done. That's what it is. That's how it goes. It's multitasking.
As I said earlier, Barca have been trying to do 4 different deals in the past couple of weeks. Same with PSG. They've been trying to do 4 different deals in the past couple of weeks. Like you can do it all at the same time.
Scott, if anyone's old enough, the first summer, Roman's first summer, we bought Joe Cole and Varane on the same day. No, you're saying we worked on those deals separately, like one after the other. No, we were, I think for a week or 2 weeks, we bought a player nearly every other day. So it just worked even back then. So to say that we just get the focus on this done and then the others does not make sense. It's not how football, it's not how it works. It's not how it works.
Right, cool. Well, we're going to end the stream now because we're going for nearly 2 hours. Love it. Another brilliant stream and more back-to-back debates. We love to see it. We'll be back tomorrow for... I think we're going to be doing 2 streams tomorrow because I got to move Shameless FC to Thursday night for the next 2 weeks. So if I do that, you'll see on the community tab, but there'll probably still be some transfer developments, so we'll be on that as well. But big up everyone who's locked in. Smash the like and subscribe button if you guys haven't done so already. Everyone's socials are down in the description below, so check it out and give them a follow if you guys haven't done so already. We will leave you with the photo of our Ballon d'Or winner as always. Take care, like and subscribe, and as always, up the charts.
You've got a Mr. Sheen there.